The Noble Eightfold Path. Observing emotions and thoughts. Avoiding feeding negative thoughts. Buddhist teachings. Introduction. The importance of observing emotions and thoughts. In Buddhism, one of the essential teachings for living a meaningful life is the Noble Eightfold Path. This path consists of 8 right practices taught by the Buddha, guiding us to liberation from suffering and the attainment of inner peace. Central to this is observing our emotions and thoughts without feeding negative patterns. Emotions and thoughts significantly impact our mental state. When overwhelmed by anger, sadness, or anxiety, we often lose clarity and make harmful decisions. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of not feeding emotions, encouraging us to observe them instead of being swept away. Chapter 1. What is the Noble Eightfold Path? The Noble Eightfold Path is one of the 4 noble truths in Buddhism, specifically within the truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering, the Noble Truth of the Path. This path offers specific practices to free ourselves from suffering and attain peace of mind. The 8 elements of the path are right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. Each of these is a practical guide for living a peaceful and wise life. Chapter 2. What does it mean to avoid feeding emotions? Avoiding feeding emotions means not letting ourselves be controlled by powerful emotions such as anger, fear, or desire. Buddhism teaches that emotions themselves are not inherently bad, but that being caught in them and falling into negative thinking patterns, wrong thoughts, is what causes suffering. For instance, when we feel anger, if we keep thinking, "Why am I so angry?" It's all their fault. We are feeding the emotion. This only makes the emotion grow stronger, eventually consuming us. Buddhism advises us to observe emotions objectively rather than suppress them. Chapter 3. Practicing right intention and right mindfulness. To observe emotions and avoid feeding them, the practices of right intention and right mindfulness are crucial. Here's how we can incorporate these into our daily lives. Right intention, balancing emotions and thoughts. Right intention means developing the right mindset and understanding the source of emotions and thoughts. When we feel anger or fear, we should ask, where does this emotion come from? And examine it without immediately reacting. Is our anger justified, or are we overreacting? This helps us stay grounded. Right mindfulness, being present in the moment. Right mindfulness involves staying present, fully aware of what is happening in the moment. When we focus on the present, we can observe our emotions and thoughts without being overwhelmed. Instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we center our awareness on the here and now. When emotions arise, instead of fighting them, simply acknowledge them by saying, "I am feeling this now." Then watch as these emotions gradually dissipate over time. Chapter 4. Facing emotions through meditation. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to observe emotions and avoid feeding them. It helps us calm our minds and observe emotions and thoughts objectively. The basics of meditation. One of the simplest meditation practices is breath meditation. Find a quiet place, sit down, close your eyes, and focus on your breathing. As you breathe in and out, simply observe the sensations without judgment. Focusing on the breath helps us stay grounded in the present moment. As we observe our breath, we also watch how emotions come and go. Meditation allows us to notice how temporary emotions are. Meditation to avoid feeding emotions. There are moments when emotions become overwhelming. In such times, meditation can help us avoid feeding these emotions. When anger arises, observe it without getting involved in it. Notice how it grows and then fades away as you continue to breathe calmly. By meditating on emotions, we realize that emotions are not permanent and that we do not need to be controlled by them. Chapter 5. The Inner Peace Gained from Observing Emotions. When we regularly practice observing emotions without feeding them, inner peace naturally follows. We cultivate the ability to remain calm and composed in any situation, free from the chaos that emotions often bring. This practice allows us to remain unaffected by external circumstances, controlling our inner world instead of being controlled by it. As a result, we become less stressed and more centered in everyday life. Conclusion: observing emotions and thoughts through the Noble Eightfold Path. Through the Noble Eightfold Path, we learn to observe our emotions and thoughts without feeding them. This practice is key to attaining inner peace and emotional freedom. By staying grounded and calm, we can liberate ourselves from suffering and lead a life of true serenity.